feel like there's a lot of people going through things, and a lot of mind stuff that's going on, things that they're trying to sort out within themselves. Sometimes we just need a little encouragement. So I thought maybe what really came up is just words of encouragement. And the first one, we are not our bodies. A lot of times we've had happenings or experiences. I don't know, it just seems like something. I just saw a light anyway. It's a window over there. Things happen with our bodies, and a lot of times if we're not careful, you know, the mind will start believing some of the things that the mind runs across, that the body's this, or, you know, you're this, or it's down, or, you know, it's tired, or it's not functioning as it should be. Maybe there's a disease process that are just passing through the body is what I call it. So the mind, I try to create a belief system behind it, you know, and saying that's you, but you were never the body. The body is just a vessel. It's going to stay here with the earth. Spirit goes on. So to identify even the happenings with the body, we're just not our bodies. And a lot of times when there's pain or other things that may be happening, maybe someone's experiencing a disease process, there's things that you can do, you know, just send love out into your body. Sit with your body. Sit in that love space, and, you know, if there's pain running through, just allow, instead of there being a resistance within yourself to the pain, just open up your heart. Just imagine your heart is full of love, and it's just covering that pain source or whatever. Just, you know, expanding within it. You know, not restricted, not resistant, but just expanding, and just accept what comes, and just realize it's a sensation. That's all. You know, and then don't even think about the pain. Just send love to parts of the body. Just different parts of the body that you there may be some pain or some uncomfortability or whatever is going with it. Just send love. Sit with yourself and allow yourself just to marinate in a big bubble of love. Like there's an energetic ball of love just encompassing, spinning in and going out, and then coming back in and going out and getting bigger and bigger, and then more pulsating. And before you know it, that pain will just dissipate. Or before you know it, you won't even notice it. Maybe it'll still be there, but it's not as noticeable anymore. And then maybe what I've noticed when I've done things like that, when I felt that maybe something was aching or something, that it just healed up quick. May not have been the first or second night, but it just, you know, before you know it, it's gone. I'm like, oh, shoot, you know. Love is healing. And to identify with your pain as yourself, or your body as yourself, can cause suffering just in the mind. More or less whatever else is going with it. So be encouraged that your body is not you. And so that's a belief system you can just let go, and see how things get brighter as it goes along. Our perception, and sometimes when you feel like maybe if there's prolonged pain you're going through, sometimes the mind can start to work on you when it comes to things like that, you know. But if you let as much joy, light, and love within your body, let your body know that you love it. and watch how it responds. Just let that be a little game that, you know, you can play. It's this loving, sending out more love and light to within. And then to see what happens, you know. Have fun with that, because these experiences are not made to, you know, to take too seriously. Not that, you know, things that, the happenings or things you go through, or you just make light of everything. No, but, you know, when you start believing or getting too serious about your experiences, it can cause a belief system, judgment, and all those other things, attachments and hardships in the mind, your perception, the veil just to grow thicker, you know, if there's a veil there. So those are the ways that you can be encouraged, that your body's not you. Number two, your experiences are not you. Some people have been through a lot of things. Myself, I've been through a lot of things. I think people think that I might just be trying to sympathize with them when I say, yeah, I've been through that too, you know. I think they think I'm just sympathizing with them, but in reality, I've been through a lot, you know. I haven't talked about a lot, and I dealt with a lot of things just within myself, you know. Mostly when I was growing up was through anger, and then it was through religion, you know, through, you know, I just was like, well, I just give it to the Lord, you know, and that did help. I mean, that helped me to get through a lot of mind suffering, especially when thoughts of killing yourself, you know, when you go through the teenagers, something happens and you feel like, oh yeah, I should just, you know, do away with myself. But then it was that that belief system in God and Christ and all of that, and Jehovah, that helped me to get through those moments. And then more so now, just knowing, the realization that I am not my experiences. In fact, we're just sojourning through. This is not a home, you know. We all know this. Something deep down innately inside each one of us that knows this is not home. And so that brings about the searching. It's almost like, what is it? You know, we're always looking for something, whether it's in the events, their experiences, or, you know, the daily or the yearly trips, or whatever it is. There's, you know, finding church families. We're all looking for something, you know. And so it's because we know that this is not our home. And so there's always a searching until we have realized what is home and where is that, you know. Is it somewhere all far away, or what is that? But yeah, our experiences aren't us. And some of us, you know, we've gone through hardships when we were young. Maybe some were, you know, family members didn't take care of ones or preyed on little ones. We had experiences where, you know, where the lines were crossed or blurred, and children were harmed, whether emotionally or in other ways, physically, sexually, or things of that nature, or even, you know, mentally. You had experience, or whatever the experience was, whether you were attacked, you know, or teased at school, bullied, or just people that were just jealous of you. Maybe some of you had stalkers things of that nature. And maybe try to, and then each time, you know, maybe you haven't had someone that quite when you were young, because it was taboo in a lot of what we call black households. It was taboo to go to counseling. So if you went through something, you just went through it. You know, if you didn't have parents that talked, and most of them didn't know how to talk you through it, or, you know, reach the core of the situation, so you're not thinking that through, trying to work that thing out within yourself at, you know, maybe a teenager or a kid as a child, trying to figure these things out, which no one else would help you do. You would identify with those experiences as you. You know, this is a part of me. This is, you know, what happened to me. This is me. This is who I am. Is that experience. And you just dragging these through, you know, year after year, trying to get through. And some can't, you know, some don't know how. Some want to, you know, have the thoughts of, you know, I can't live like this. I can't live through this. And some turn to drugs and things of that nature, or other things, you know, maybe relationships, you know, try to find relationship after relationship, you know, or pleasure searching and things of that nature, because of a false belief system, believing that these experiences are us, which none of those are. They never were. They're all just experiences. And really, as tragic and traumatic as some of them can be, if, you know, after the experience, and it's hard to work through this if you're not, when we have a sense of separation, you know, that sense of, you know, something's missing, will cause you to believe that those experiences are you, and the mind will bring it back to replay it over and over. But when there's an understanding of your true nature, you realize anything that's not in today is just imagination at this point. You know, not that it wasn't hard or hurtful or traumatic, or maybe if it was a family member, it was very traumatic because you trusted. That you're supposed to be able to trust, you know, the people that are close to you. And if you couldn't, then it could be, you know, it could play in your mind as, oh, that happened to me, this is me, and now as a child, you could think I'm dirty, I'm not as innocent as the other kids, or I'm this, or I'm that, I'm a monster. Whatever the mind is trying to tell you, all the lies about yourself, because you are not this body, and you're definitely not an experience. You realize yourself, that you're that breath of life, the source, the true nature of love, truth, you know, that emanates all the happenings. That's your true source. When you realize that, you know, this spirit, you know, is love. And these experiences are just that. And they're not me. So I've had a lot of experiences, and I had to come to that understanding that it's not me. And now that the more the unveiling happens, the less these emotions are able to attack me, because you realize the emotions are just sensations. And they're just really, emotions have to be fueled by these stories. It's the stories that we keep about the experience. It's really this cause suffering. But when we allow ourselves to let go of the story of that happened to me, you know, I'm that experience, oh poor me, woe is me, you know, that all of that stuff that keeps going on and on. But really, you do have to face those emotions, because sometimes if you just act like it, you know, nothing is there and it's still nagging, that means it's really there. It's really a belief system about it. So you have to approach You have to look at, what do I believe about that situation? You have to dig in there. You got to let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. You got to look at it. Open it up. Envelop yourself in it. And then allow love. Then open your heart and allow love just to emanate within that space. And watch how it will transmute into love instead of the hurt and anger. But look at it. But you got to go deep. You got to go to why. What is it telling me? It's telling me that you were wrong. You're angry. You were hurt. You're dirty. You're not as loved. You can't trust anyone. All that stuff, you know. But you just have to open up, because it's not someone did this to me. Although, you know, that not that it didn't happen, or, you know, you didn't experience that. It's that, you know, if someone was able to do that to you, they didn't recognize that they were loved either. They believed that they were something that they were not. They had a belief system that veiled their true nature also, which allowed them to act in this way that's, you know, not them, which isn't love. Love doesn't go harm, you know. And so, yeah, you can't look at the form that which the lesson was brought. But it's really all the sufferings, as hard as they are, can be. You know, it's really to put a mirror in front of us and to see our true nature. And once that true nature is realized, then there will, you know, that intuitive nature will guide us in this space, in what we call this life, which really is, we are the life, but it will guide us through everything. We'll know, just have a knowing about we'll just have a knowing about what choices to make intuitively, and what choices not to make. So that is another encouragement, that we are not our experiences. Because some people, their experiences, they, you know, I can remember feeling like going through, more so junior high, I always felt less than. I always felt low self-esteem, you know, just because of, you know, whether if it was my family wasn't as rich as everybody else, it was always something the mind gave me to have a reason to go through these emotions. And then that's another thing. 3, our emotions are not us. Just realize there are sensations with stories behind them. As long as there's a belief within these stories, that they can continue to allow us to stay in that space of suffering. But we are not our emotions. So that's another place that we can get encouragement. And in our circumstances, that comes up. That's the same thing as experiences. And that's all these are, you know. In this life of duality here on earth, there's always going to be circumstances. There's always going to be highs and what we call highs and lows, and, you know, that ride of the wave, you know. It's always going to be that. Just, you know, go with the flow and realize that this is the nature of this experience, this change. You can expect that. It's always going to be change. And sometimes they'll be hard. But those are the times to look deep. If there's some uncomfortability within yourself, it's just a mirror for you just to see what's inside of you. What is there that I need to remove the veil on? You know, the peel back more and let myself be more apparent, more free, or just be more. Not really be more, but just being, in my being more. More so, you know, because that's all these experiences are here to do. It's just to put a mirror in front of us and to peel off the other layer, any other layer of belief system or something that's hiding that we didn't know was there. You know, an attachment or a judgment that may be, you know, hidden, you know, that's so very subtle somewhere. So that's all it is. I thought we, you know, this was just a video of encouragement. I've been talking to a lot of people this week. You know, I do physical therapy, and it seems like a lot of people just need some encouragement. So I hope that helps. And I'm sure it did. Someone, you know, someone needed to hear that. Someone needs to know that their true nature is joy and love, and not to be veiled by our experiences, by our emotions, by our mind, whether it's, you know, by the mind, and just have a true understanding that the mind is like a cloud. It just comes and goes. It's not us. The body is the vessel in which this awareness moves freely in, and the emotions are just sensations with stories that are attached. So yeah, just be encouraged with that, and know that this too soon shall pass. It's always changing, and let's not take this too seriously, but live this life full of joy, full of love, full of your expression, and just be you. And with that, I'm gonna wrap it up, but thank you for sharing this moment with me. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you. Bye.